Tak, dobrý večer, jak pak se máme? Dneska si dáme zase chvilku s Kotorem, Notorem. Jsme zrovna u kempu, nějaké čerky nebo podobné organizace. A jich tu fakt hodně. A budou se nás snažit zabít. Kdo by to byl čekal?
There's the landing pad. There should be a computer terminal I can access from there. Looks like we're gonna have to fight our way there, though.
Why do you say that?
What do we have here? The Jedi. Saves us the trouble of looking for you. Corin Fault did say you were dangerous. Maybe he does know what he's talking about.
Ale
Fault hired me to keep everyone out of the restoration zone. You in particular. A grenade with your name on it, Jedi. Attack!
ano, tak kucí. To od vás není hezké. Musíme to ukládat, protože kdo ví, co ta hra zase udělá. Kuďák. A zase na heslo, aspoň bychom to mohli poslat na ty žoldáky. Moment. Se jenom zdá, že z toho z nich nějak málo padá. Myslím, že by toho mělo být víc. Ale Baldur nám umřel. Ne. Poslouchej mě a nechoď tam. To je idiot. Říkám, pojď sem. Kreten. Úplný kreten. A jako co já s nima teď budu dělat? Sám. Ale jsou v prdeli. To je Jsem mrtvej. Když se ta skupina rozdělí, kurva, a nedělá to, co chci já, to je potom těžký. Přepíná z té lékárničky, kam si dořídí. Můžeš laskavě, vole, se pohnout, kurva. Prdele. Jsme zase vyžití. Nemáme zbraně, nemáme lékárničky. Úžasné. Ještě se tak trefí. Na rozdíl ode mě má lékárničku, no. To je řití toto. Čekáme ještě chviličku, vteřinku, 2. Se třeba aspoň jakože postaví rovně. No, postavil jsem tu skupinu blbě. Měl jsem si vzít radši Kreju s sebou. Dobře. Takže ještě toho jednoho. No, potřebujeme nějaký život. Ale by stačily 2-3 rány a byli bychom totálně vyřízení. Na pytel. Až zkusíme ho nadopovat. Ale tref ho, sakra. Čelo by, kdyby se teď tak 2krát ještě trefil a mohlo by to být hotové. Hrůza, hrůza. No. Jsme to dopracovali, vole. Banda mrzáků. Tady jsou ještě 2. Tak to teda ne. To až se dáme trošičku dokupy. Tak. Třeba teď ty 2 dokážeme zlikvidovat. No, nakonec se nám to podařilo. Ale nic nám nechcou dát, to je přístup tohle.
Hopefully I'll be able to access the shield network from this console. Good, it's functional, and my passcodes still work. Now let's find your ship. The TSF probably thinks the ship was put down in the wastes, but they don't know the planet as well as I do. Telos's atmosphere has been turned into acidic vapor. Landing a ship in the wastes would be like sealing it in a hangar full of hungry Minox.
I'd say there's probably an illegal landing site somewhere then.
So that means there's probably an unsanctioned landing site somewhere on the planet. Still shielded, but not a restoration zone or other listed facility. That's why I need access to the shield network. Here, a small anomaly in the shield network's power grid. I'm not surprised the TSF didn't spot this. It's subtle, more like an error or random flux than anything suspicious. It looks like power is being drawn to generate a shield over a small area in the polar region, but nothing should be down there. Orbital cameras show nothing, just an empty mesa.
Ideální místo.
That's a little tougher. According to the computer, a shell is currently docked inside the research facility. At least there was at last report, though that was months ago. I don't, but that's not going to stop me. I'm getting back to Citadel if I have to build a new ship myself.
That's decided then. We should get going.
There's one other small problem. Recently, Zerka teams that were sent into the military facility have not been coming out. But it's not as though we have any choice.
Yep. Ale tamhle zrovna umřel. Ale to... A vlezete do toho oba dva, že? Já nemám léčení, ale jenom jednu protilátku. Úžasné.
This arm of mine isn't just for show, General. Stand back.
Šikovná ručka.
The Zerka mercenaries were a little surprised when I broke my way out of my holding cell. The shields there were even weaker than these. After you.
Můžeme si tu ruku někdy půjčit? Jasně. Já zkusím, jestli to půjde vypnout, tady ten plyn. Nepůjde. Já to tady proběhnu. Pozbírám, co půjde, pak s nima s každým zvlášť. Pomůže nám dýchací maska? Pomůže. Jo, mě omráčí hajslerem. Musíme počkat, až se proberu. Administrativní karta. Lepší štít, ale tak ten zatím není potřeba. Vypadá tady nic. Určitě mi zase ti blbci vlezou do plynu. Oni to zvládli obejít, to neuvěřitelné. Zase nemůžu chodit. Aspoň něco. Jedna schránečka. No, dvě Já říkám, že ta hra dělá strašlivé věci. Já to nebudu komentovat, tu inteligenci. zase nemůžu chodit, ty vole. Ale já jsem, by se to sestavilo nedal, no. Máme něco vyrobit? Ještě bychom si mohli... Máme něco na rozebrání? No, aspoň 10 lékárníček. ještě čas. Jo. Tak.
There she is, one orbital shuttle. Looks like it's in serviceable condition. That's all a moot point, though. The hangar bay doors are closed. I don't fancy flying the shuttle through solid metal, so I'd say we need to find a way to get them open. We'll also need to find the ignition codes for the shuttle, or else we'll have some trouble getting off the ground. If we get all that, I wouldn't worry about what shape this heap is in. I'll get it running.
Okay. Proč byl asi deaktivován? Kdo pak ho vypnul? Někdo vypnul elektriku. Kredity. Konečně. No, tak teď už po nás aspoň nepůjde ten plyn. Bojky. Třeba kdybyste vylezli zpoza rohu a začali střílet na toho droida. A tak proč byste to dělali, že? Zas nějaký terminál. Bože růžo. Dobře, tady jeden. Žádný záchranný tým neexistuje.
Kawana bota yunta tanga kinamatura. Tayaita tabosananansata. Tonata biasvia. Jicho watana. Kunera que te dinito para más nucho.
No dobře.
Cracking no.
Konečně jsem taky dostal level. Po čem tam ti droidi střílí? Chci přesvědčování na 10. Přidáme do zabezpečení, do opravování, do používání počítačů. Přidáme stázi, ta se bude určitě hodit. Máme rychlost, že? Proč zase nemůžu použít tuhle sílu? Omezeno brněním určitě. Vadí, vyvedeme Joudu ven. To není zas taková hrozná štrka, když už tu není ten plyn. Kde je ten blbec? Ale bože. Říkej mi, že tam zůstal stát, idiot, že se přerušilo, ale to následuj mě ven. Idiote. Tak když ty blbče, nebo jako co? Bože, to je debil.
Kawana bota yunta tanga kinamatura. Tayaita ta bosananansata.
Už letím, kluci. Aha. Může mi někdo vysvětlit, co to zase dělá? Ale fakt s touhle hrou, tyjo, se dějou fakt to jenom ty nejhorší věci. Podíval jsem se, jestli tady není nějaký lůtík. Jo, to za to stálo 2 lékárničky za jednu malou tříštivou minu. Jsem s tím úplně v pohodě. Zvládli jsme to, přežili jsme, ale nemůžeme chodit. Kdo by to u téhle hry čekal? Odsáď ti droidi vylezli. Tak, ti už nebudou dělat problémy. Z jakého terminálu? Ale tady z toho jednoho, ze kterým to nejde. Stejně se nás pokusí zabít, určitě. Spáchal sebevraždu. No moc nám ten droid teda nepomohl. No ještě, že to nestálo žádné zdroje. Věžičky. Nestřílí po nás, podezřelé. No, určitě začnou střílet jenom, co zapneme baterky. Těch už jsme se zbavili. Ten je velký. Bože, tohle mě tak Nic, Baudure, vedeš. Až projdeme nějakýma těma dveřma, tak ono se to zase srovná. Ale co ten náš droidík dělá? Zajímavé. Může mi někdo vysvětlit, proč u sebe bezpečnostní droidi mají kredity? Obsahuje startovací kódy pro orbitální raketoplán. Výborně, takže už můžeme i lítat. Tyhle dvířka? No jasně. No, ale teď už fakt jako chci chodit, jo? No. Rád bych měl postavu, která se umí pohybovat. Ještě něco třeba? Nic. No, jestli tohle přežijem... Šlo to líp, než jsem čekal. Z toho macka nic nepadlo, jo? Helma vědomí. Rouchonovice Barando. Barandov? Cože? To mí Rouchonovice Barando. Obrana, imunita, moudrost. Obrana, obratnost, no to. Asi necháme zatím tak, jak to máme. Tím pádem my můžeme odsaď uletět dopryč.
We have arrived too late. The target has evaded us. We must pursue it. Observation. They have likely escaped aboard the orbital shuttle that has been docked here. The bay control computer likely will have a record of their departure. Query. Have you discovered anything about the shuttle's course? Answer. I have managed to track the shuttle's movement across the shield network. However, the shield network does not stretch over the polar region, which was the shuttle's apparent destination. Statement. Dispatch a unit to the polar region with the last known coordinates and approximate path of the shuttle. They will not escape us again.
Oh yeah. Bude uvítací výbor.
Irritated declaration. There you are. It has been extremely difficult to track you down, Jedi. Quick clarification. But now that we have found you, we hope that we can facilitate communications. Unnecessary addendum. And put an end to hostilities. Unnecessary clarification. We merely wish to cripple your vessel. Once we tracked your coordinates, we were able to deploy several droids in this location. Probing query. We are, however, curious as to why you chose to come to the remnants of the polar Telos irrigation system. There is nothing here that our instruments can detect. Eager threat. But we are looking forward to extracting your motives for coming here when we place you in torture restraints. Chiding statement. Oh, Jedi, there are as many of us as are needed to capture or kill our targets. Egotistical boast. And there are far more of us than any one Jedi. Destroy one of us, and more shall rise from the wreckage. Unnecessary threat. And our attack protocols are more than a match for you and your allies. Self-evident answer. Wherever you try to run, we will be there, armed and
We will
ready.
be there.
Rhetorical query. So the query you have posed to us is one we put to you. What are you doing here, we wonder?
Přiletěl jsem se sem opalovat. kontrolní uzel, výborně. Další dílek do našeho HK. 47 do originálu. Co, válí se tu ještě někde něco? Hra nám jasně dala najevo, kdo s náma bude teďka v týmu. No, tamhle leží Baudur. Jsi v pořádku, kamaráde? Jako nebylo hezké nechat ho tady jenom tak ležet.
Lay down your weapons, and you shall not be harmed.
Why is it that everywhere we go, I end up in a cell? I mean, why did they lock us up? What is this place?
It is a training ground for Jedi.
What? This ice hole?
Yes, it bears the semblance of an academy. But where are all the students? Curious.
You've got to be joking. What is a Jedi Academy doing out here in the middle of nowhere?
It is a place hidden from the galaxy like the academy on Dantooine. But this place... Oh, Atris, you have been clever.
Atris?
It's none of your concern.
Well, the sooner we're out of here, the better. 2 crazy Jedi are more than enough for me. No one told me we were going to be dumped in a nest of Jedi.
And what is it about this place that causes you such fear?
What do you mean? We're in the middle of a bunch of Jedi. You know how they are.
No, I do not. Not in the way you seem to.
What? What are you doing? Get out of my head!
Stop struggling. Let me follow the current. Deep, deeper to its source.
Stop! Stop! Ah!
Ah, with the fear is mingled guilt. It squirms in you like a worm. And the why? Ah, and there is its heart. You surprise me. I could not feel it before. Your feelings are a powerful shield indeed. Do not worry, Atten. If he is a Jedi, he will forgive. And if he is not, he will not care.
You can't tell him, please. I'm asking you. I don't want him to...
Think less of you. I hardly think that's possible. Still, there is no shame in what you ask. We all wage war with the past, and it leaves its scars. I will not speak of yours, Atten, but there is a price for such things.
What? What price?
There are those who wage war and those who follow them. You are a crude thing, murderer, but you have your uses. You know how important this man we travel with is. Even one such as you can feel it. You will serve him until I release you.
And if I refuse?
You will not. If you do, then my silence will be broken. And then, Atten, you will be broken. You fear the Jedi, and rightly so. If Atris learns of your choices, you will never leave this place. But whatever fear you hold of the Jedi, know that if you disobey me, that my punishment will make you beg for the death that has long hounded you. Wipe the fear from your mind. You will not find blind obedience a difficult master. You chose it once. You will learn to embrace it again.
I don't know how you became such a manipulative witch, but why a vicious old scowl like yourself would even bother with me is a bigger mystery.
No game of Dajaric can be won without pawns, and this may prove to be a very long game. You are a slippery one. Your thoughts difficult for even one such as I to read. I suspect the self-loathing that squirms within you gives you a curious strength. Your spirit, as diseased as it is, refuses to allow you to give up, no matter what threats you face and whatever wreckage you leave behind you. I feel you have crossed our path for a reason. Perhaps even you, at the right moment, may be able to turn aside disaster. If so, your potential is not yet spent.
Fine. I'll be your pawn. But I still think you've got the wrong man.
Perhaps. But someone has to fly the ship, and the Force is a hard thing to predict. You have crossed our path for a reason. Our path brought us here for a reason. And now I know why. The past is here, and it must be met before the future can be set in motion.
More Jedi speak. Care to explain?
No. I've wasted enough time with you. Sleep, murderer, and be silent. I need no distractions. A critical moment approaches.
Kdo pak to k nám jde?
I did not expect to see you again after the day of your sentencing. I thought you had taken the exile's path, wandering the galaxy. Yet you have returned. Why? Your concern is noted. Your friends have not been harmed. They have been detained for their safety. I find it unusual that you are travelling with others again. I had thought you had forsaken the company of others after the war. Or is that why you are here? Your ship? Ah, the Ebon Hawk. It is not your ship. Unless you are admitting to the destruction of the Paragus mining facility. Ah, an accident. Something beyond your control. You have not changed. Acting instead of thinking, putting yourself before the galaxy, before the Jedi. Do you
Já
know
jsem
what you
nestřílel.
have done?
To ti druzí.
No, your crime is much more than that. Without the fuel from Paragus, Citadel Station cannot maintain its orbit. It will crash into the planet and its destruction will echo across 20 other worlds. Telos was a test to see if the Republic could mount a restoration effort on the Outer Rim. When it fails, the Republic will not finance another. The other Rim worlds, devastated by the Sith, will remain graveyard worlds. devoid of life, and that is the magnitude of your crime. So you still hold to your flawed convictions. If you think to anger me, you are wrong. How is it that you are not content to confine your ruin to yourself? You must spread it to others wherever you go. Ruin yourself with your actions if you will, but when your actions bring harm to others, then you must answer for it. The Sith? What do you mean? You speak truly. You have encountered the Sith. I can feel the scars on you. And you encountered them on Paragus. But what would they want there? They can't have been looking for you. You. If they thought you were Jedi, the teachings of the Sith blind them indeed. I am the last Jedi, not you. You betrayed our teachings, our beliefs, the very core of the Jedi Order. If these Sith attacked you, they will soon realize their mistake. And if you escaped, they most likely let you go to see if you would lead them here. I said I was the last of the Jedi, Exile, and I did not speak falsely. There are others who were once Jedi, but no longer. They will not take action against this threat. You offer your aid after turning your back on me, on the Council. The Jedi is not something you embrace out of fear. The commitment is stronger than that, something you never seem to understand. Perhaps. But if you help me, it cannot be done from here. There are others in the galaxy who may help us against a Sith threat. If you can find them, gain their trust, perhaps our defenses shall be stronger for it. Take your ship, seek them out. If you find them, encourage them to gather on Dantooine. From there we can call a council and see what can be done. You shall find them north of here, in one of the old irrigation chambers. They have not been harmed. They are free to leave as well. Yet here you are, and you bring tragedy with you once again. It was too much to hope that you may have come here to finally admit the Council was right. You presume much. The Force does not guide your movements, not anymore. Its connection was lost when you fell. Perhaps you feel that the Force also led you to the Mandalorian Wars as well, but in truth it only led to your exile. So you said, so long ago. I didn't believe it then, and I don't believe it now. You sought adventure. You hungered for battle. You could not wait to follow Revan to war. The Jedi Order asked only for time to examine the Mandalorian threat. They urged caution, patience, and you defied them. So when you returned, you were brought before us. You were a Jedi no longer, and so you were exiled. There was much about that day that was difficult to forget. Your words, your defiance, and when you stabbed your lightsaber into the center stone. I have kept it, so I would never forget. Indeed, a lightsaber is the mark of a Jedi. When you turned your back on the Order, it was not yours anymore. I have always kept it, as a reminder of what can happen when your passions dictate your actions. I have kept it, so I would never forget your arrogance or your insult to the Order. Become a Jedi again? That is a thing far out of reach. But I am not unsympathetic to your feelings. Leaving the Order must have been difficult for you. Yet you gave the Council no other choice. You gave me no other choice. So your choice was to meet the aggression of the Mandalorians with more aggression. That is not the Jedi way. Every choice we make, whether we know it or not, sends echoes through the Force. It can awaken feelings, ignite passions, hate, anger, fear, where none existed before. By meeting aggression, by serving as an opponent against which the Mandalorians could test themselves, you fed their hate, their lust for war, and it sent a terrible echo through you. And because of it, you and those Jedi who met them on the battlefield lost their way, and you turned on us. Of course I was. But the Jedi teachings require we examine how we may best help them. Action without reflection is not our way. There was no guarantee that marching to war would have saved the Outer Rim. In fact, quite the opposite. A physical victory, perhaps, but the real victory lay in... Do not twist my words. A physical victory is not the only victory, or the only loss. You do not know... How dare you? The Mandalorian Wars should have been your grave, and Malachor 5 is where you should have died. You see shadows where there are none, and hate where there is none. You are blind, as always. I tire of fighting with you. You lust for war, and you always will, and you have succeeded in distracting me from my questions. So answer me. If you cannot seem to admit the Council was correct, then why are you here? Your ship? Ah, the Ebon Hawk. It is not your ship. Unless you are admitting to the destruction...
No, to už jsme probírali.
Ah, an accident. You have not changed. Do you know? Without the fuel from Parag... Telos was a test to see if the Republic could mount a rest. The other Rim worlds, devastated by the Sith, will remain graveyard worlds. So you still hold to your flawed convictions. If you think to anger me, you are wrong. How is it that you are not ruin yourself with your actions? The Sith. You speak truly, and you encounter... There are no more Jedi, except I. Like you, they turned from the Order, and now only I remain. If these Sith attacked you, they will soon realize their mistake. You offer your aid after turning your back on... The Jedi is not something you... Perhaps. But if you help me, it cannot be done from here. There are others in the galaxy who may help us against a Sith threat. If you can find them, gain their trust, perhaps our defense... Take your ship. Then I shall send you on your way. It is now time for you to depart.
We shall remove him, Mistress. Come with us. Are you all right, Mistress?
The exile brought up feelings best left forgotten.
Forgive me, Mistress, but I must ask. The exile, I've never seen another affect you so strongly. Did you care for him once?
The Jedi have no such attachments. As always, he will do as he wills. And the galaxy, and the feelings of others, can burn for all he cares. The day we judged him, I stood in the chamber and he was so right. He was so certain of it, I doubted myself. He chose Revan over the Jedi, over the Council, over... But now I am tired. I must meditate.
Of course, Mistress. I will tell the others you are not to be disturbed. And please,
Měl
don't
jsem
exhaust
pravdu.
yourself. We can attend to matters here.
Ale se nám to tam nějak červená. Ale nebude jenom tak. To byl hodně dlouhý pokec.
You may ask. We share the same father, and we all bear the face of our mother. It is not unusual for the Achani of the same parents to be born so as to be indistinguishable to outsiders. As I have said, it is not unusual for the Achani of the same parents to be born so as to be indistinguishable to outsiders. If you seek to raise anger in me, you will fail, exile. I tolerate your presence only upon orders of the mistress. She did not order me to endure your questions. One cannot take back an action, and often apologizing for it only compounds the insult. Simply drop the matter and be silent. You may ask. This was once a mighty irrigation center for Telos. It survived the orbital bombardment of the Sith, though the inhabitants did not. Ancient irrigation channels still lie beneath the surface of Telos, waiting to be used again for the reconstruction efforts controlled from this facility. Shortly before the destruction of Dantooine by the forces of the traitor Jedi Malak, Atris had many Jedi artifacts and knowledge transported here secretly. The Jedi Council sensed it, Master Vrook, Master Vandar, but it was too late to do much except make arrangements for evacuation. It was a dark day for the Order. Many on Dantooine did not survive, Jedi or not. Atris would not speak for many days after the attack, and we feared our mistress was lost to us. In time, she regained her voice and her strength. She brought the artifacts and the teachings of the Jedi here and has kept them safe. Yes, many relics from Dantooine, some which predate even the destruction of Ossus. She was not able to save all, but she saved enough. She was able to bring them here before the Academy's destruction. It was a fortunate thing. She was not able to save everything. Ossus was once the home of much of the Jedi teaching and knowledge. It was destroyed over 40 years ago by the Sith, during the time of Exar Kun. Fortunately, a few relics and artifacts were saved before Ossus was destroyed, but many were not. Viewing the relics is not allowed without Atris's permission. Of course, I exist to serve the Jedi. You may ask. The mistress? What of her? She leads us. As she rebuilds Telos, she rebuilds the Order, and through them, the galaxy. We serve the Jedi. We do not question them. Yet, Atris has told us that the work here at Telos may pay for similar efforts in many worlds along the Rim that were destroyed when the Jedi turned on each other. She has said the Jedi Order needs such a foundation if it is to rebuild. She faults the teaching of many of the Jedi Masters as the spark of the Jedi Civil War. Atris has said that if Revan and Malak had been properly instructed in the ways of the Jedi, they never would have fallen, and nor would you, exile. That is unknown to me. I have never observed Atris to teach Jedi, nor would I wish to. Atris has chosen instead to focus her efforts on galactic recovery. Once the galaxy breathes again, disciples will come. You may... I would welcome a chance to instruct you. I have been anxious to teach you many principles of combat ever since you invaded this place. Oh yes, we train extensively in various combat styles, and we have not had another target for some time. You may prove a pleasant diversion. Very well. Follow me, and we shall see if you have the endurance to learn the most basic of our teachings. Before we begin, are you familiar with the Chani traditions? All duels between us shall be without armor of any kind. There shall be no restrictions upon our movements or upon yours. Your feet are not to leave the training mat during the battle. If they do, you will lose. Also, this is not a fight to the death. Restrain your instincts when we fight, and we shall do the same. The fight will be with hands and feet only. No stimulants, shields, weapons, or other items. Also, do not call upon any Jedi techniques during our contest. If you do, then the battle will be over. In turn, I will not use our higher forms, for this is only an opening battle between us, a test of each other's strength. Then let us begin.
Říkám, že ta hra dělá strašné věci.
You have fallen. Very well. I shall honor your request. It shall be the same as before. Hands... Then let us begin.
Aha. Tak to bude hodně rychlý.
You have fallen. Seek one of us out when you wish to fight, and we shall honor... Have you returned to fight again? Very well. It shall... Then let us begin. You have fallen. Seek one of us out when you wish to fight, and we shall honor your request.
Jsme zpátky. Aha. Zase jsme dostali na prdel. Ještě jeden pokus a pak na to kašlem.
Have you returned to fight again? Very well. It shall... Then let us... You have fallen.
A tohle nemáme staty prostě. Jsme nedávali vůbec nic jako do fyzické síly v podstatě, takže jako... Si tak. No, a zase nemůžeme chodit. Trošku vám to tady vykradu, jo, holky? To určitě nebudete potřebovat ty věci a mě se budou hodit. Takových věcí tady je.
Why have you approached me? You will find them in the main irrigation channel room, in the northern part of the plateau interior. The particle emitters there that once governed the flow of water to Telos can double as force cages. You shall not be challenged. As I have said, you will find... They were caged for their safety, until we could determine your intent, exile. Atris cautioned us against your tactics, fearing that your allies would create a distraction. Your companions gave us little trouble, however. The male could have presented some challenge if he had resisted, but he chose not to. He has had some Echani training. He masks it well, but when you are in danger, his mask dropped into a stance we know well. I do not know. The Echani forms are known to be taught to military special forces throughout the galaxy. If the source is a mystery to you, perhaps you should ask him. It would be wise to know those you travel with. Your ship is stored in the hangar. Atris has given you permission to leave this place, and permission to return if you remain in her service.
Did you find what you came for? There was something from your past here, something unresolved. I feel we did not come to this place by chance. You were led here. This woman who resides here, she did something to you once, something that hangs upon you still. There is a Jedi here, perhaps, in that you are correct. Yet there are no students, and this woman, this Atris, surrounds herself with those who cannot feel the Force. Curious. No, her servants are not Jedi. Their minds are walls, trained to resist tricks of the mind. This discipline blinds them to the Force as well, even if they were Force-sensitive. Invade the mind of another. It is not something done carelessly, or when there is nothing to be gained. Plans are fragile things, and life often dashes expectations to the ground. Perhaps students will come to her in time. For now, she is surrounded by those who cannot feel the Force.
Zajímavé.
Very well. Let us depart. He's only sleeping. It seems the journey here has fatigued him.
I am sorry, General. I must have lost consciousness in the crash. I'm fine, General. Even power has been restored to my arm. What is this place? Where are we? This must be where I had detected the energy readings before, and the drain to the restoration shields. This room, this place, it looks part of a huge polar irrigation system, possibly planet-wide, like the one on Coruscant. I'd been told by the Republic that it was not in use. I am, General. If you wish, I may travel with you, or join you at the ship. Very well, General. I will await your arrival.
Kam jako si myslíte, že jdete? A to ne?
Hey, you're back with us. We were just on our way to rescue you from those ghost women when, we got locked up. Don't worry about me, I'm fine. How did things go with the Jedi here? Are you all done? Well, that's not exactly what I wanted to hear. No, I was just complaining. I'm with you until things start going better for you. We need to stick together, you know? And who knows? I might be able to help you out of a tight spot at some point. Ah, hey, don't mention it. It's my pleasure. Well, if it isn't the one who stole the Ebonhawk. Not so smug now, are you, you little thief?
Don't be a fool. Atris stole the ship and the droid.
Says you.
Se to snažili provést s naším robůtkem, sakra. Hned jsme u tebe. Haló, je někdo doma?
Ah, curious thing, what lies behind it. Did she? Perhaps it is a meditation chamber of some sort.
Ne, že by ta informace pro nás měla nějakou cenu.
You are the exile, the one Atris warned us about. She said you betrayed the Jedi by going to war when it was forbidden to you. You turned on your masters, your teachings, and yourself.
No, tak bych to neřekl.
That is not all she says. She says you know nothing of loyalty to any cause except your own animal instincts, and she told us why you fell to the dark side. Atris says that you fell to the dark side in the Mandalorian Wars when you gave in to your lust for battle. Once you tasted war, you could not give it up. Atris says when the Dark Lord Revan returned to the Republic, you did not march with them because you had fallen so far you could no longer feel the Force. So it was a matter of choice then. If Atris has erred in her evaluation of your motivations, it might be best to inform her. I believe that is the extent of her expressed feelings toward you. There are variations at times, but all rise from the same foundation. Yes, it is difficult sometimes for others to truly speak their heart or listen to it. The words often prove difficult, or they do not come at all. Without having seen you and Atris fight, I cannot say. Battle is a pure form of expression. It is heart and discipline, reduced to movement and motion. Perhaps it may prove truer than conversing with words. In battle, the words are swept away, giving way to actions. Mercy, sacrifice, anger, fear. These are pure moments of expression. You may ask. I honor the face of my mother. It is not something spoken of in the company of others. There's no need to apologize. You were merely remarking on something that you saw. There is no wrong in that. It is not a sensitive subject, but a subject that requires trust. There is no such trust between you and I, and such trust takes time. You may ask. Before you go, Exile, question for you, if I may ask it. You have touched the Force. What does it feel like? Then tell me of its absence.
It is standing atop the summit of a great mountain, the winds tearing about you, then finding yourself buried alive, trapped, helpless, and alone. It is like having the energy of youth, then feeling the cloak of years fall upon you, and knowing you are weak, fragile, and a thing easily discarded. It is knowing what you want to say and never finding the words. It is a chorus replaced with silence, hearing teachings without meaning. It is like a beloved pupil to whom you have shared everything, sacrificed everything, and then having them turn from you and forget all you were.
I see. Thank you both. I appreciate you sharing your knowledge with me.
Rekrea byla podstatně tisivdější. Dělala na služebnou budliky. Čas vypadnout. Ještě se mrkneme, jestli v hangáru něco není. Očividně ne, takže na loď.
Mistress, the last of the handmaidens is not among us.
She has left with the exile.
Left?
But why? Her oath. Her reasons are unknown to me. But I fear she may no longer be trusted. We will save her if we can, but we must let her discover the exile's nature for herself. Some evils must be confronted, and isolation from it would have been no defense.
Well, now that we're off that Dejaric board of a planet, I say we burn sky until we see lines.
What is the machine saying? We seem to have found it.
Tak jak to tehdy bylo.
Do you know why we have called you here?
As Revan summoned you, so have you come full circle to return to the Jedi.
Why did you defy us? The Jedi are guardians of the peace, and have been for centuries. This call to war undermines all that we have worked for.
Is Revan your master now? Or is it the horror you wrought at Malachor that has caused you to see the truth at last?
You refuse to hear us. You have shut us out, and so have shut yourself to the galaxy.
You are exiled, and you are a Jedi no longer.
There is one last thing. Your lightsaber. Surrender it to us.
Much defiance in that one.
You are correct, Kavar. When he was here, I felt it. It was as if he was not there, more like an echo.
The war has touched the youngest of the Order. Many of them have lost themselves in battle against the Mandalorians.
We have not lost a Jedi this day. You felt it. He has lost himself. He is no Jedi. He walked Revan's path, but he was not strong enough.
I fear it is our teachings that may have led Revan to choose the path he did.
We are not the ones who taught him.
We take responsibility, Atris, not cast blame.
The choice of one was the choice of us all. Revan's teacher intended no harm, and Revan had many teachers since.
Yet they all stem from the same source. Her teachings violated the Jedi Code and lead all who listen to the dark side, as they did the exile.
You are wrong. The dark side is not what I sensed in the exile. Surely the rest of you felt it as well. That emptiness we felt. He has changed.
Whatever that wound was, it was of the dark side. We should not have let him depart. He will simply join Revan again, or perhaps worse.
What would you have done with him, Atris? Be mindful of your feelings. This is not Revan who stood before you. This one walks a different path.
No, although that may come in time. We let him go because we must. Where he travels, he carries his destination with him.
Malachor 5 should have been his grave. You saw it in his walk, and in the Force. It was as if he was already dead.
No, not death. Many battles remain for that one, if what we have seen is true. But the future is a shifting thing, and he cuts like a blade through it.
We should have told him the truth. A Jedi deserves to know.
No good would have come from it, even if what you believed was true. There is still the matter of Revan, and such truths could leave us vulnerable on two fronts.
Perhaps in many years, we will call him before us and explain what happened to him, and how he may be healed. Until then, he must accept his journey.
But he may never discover the truth, and he will never know why we cast him out.
And that is the future we must accept.
Those Jedi sure like their secrets, don't they?
A strange coincidence.
It is no coincidence. There is some larger plan at work here, and we are walking into it. This is too convenient to be anything but a trap.
Those are Atris's records you have stolen.
What the hell are you doing on our ship?
I have come to join you. I can help you against this threat.
Well, we don't want your help. Or any of your sisters.
It is just me. And I am doing this because Atris believes you will need help. I think the strength of the enemy is unknown, but it is greater than 5 can hope to defeat without aid.
Indeed. But of course, what does one more matter to our journey? I have had enough of this. I will be in my chambers.
Yeah, me too. I'll be in my chambers. But since I don't have any, I guess I'll just go to the cockpit like I always do. If she's coming with us, she gets the cargo hold. Might remind her how fun it is to get locked up.
General.
The cargo hold is enough. I assure you, there is little I need. I will attend to myself. It is no matter. I am used to worse conditions, but thank you for your kindness.
General, is there a reason you don't carry a lightsaber anymore? That's not your lightsaber anymore. That belonged to someone who served Revan in the wars, not the person you are now. You could build another one, if you wanted to, but you know that. I don't know, General, but whatever the reason, you should put it behind you. I know this. A lightsaber is part of who you are. Without it, you're not complete. I think I can help you out there. I happen to know the parts you need. We need a power cell, emitter matrix, lens and focusing crystal, though I have to admit the crystal is beyond my means. Never did understand them. Those parts are fairly common, though a Jedi once told me that it's best if your lightsaber reflects you, and if it is constructed of things that identify it as your own. Just bring the parts to me before you get started building it. I'll make sure they're usable. All I'm saying is that you've gone for a long time without a memory wipe. Most droids behave erratically under those circumstances. I know that, but I'm fixing everything else around here, so I may as well take a look at you too. What was that? That's what I'm talking about. That is not normal droid behavior. I am not pushing you around. I just wanted to see if there was anything I could do to upgrade your functionality. Thanks for the vote of confidence. Good. Now let's get started. You wouldn't guess it from the outside, but it looks like you've been through a lot. I'll bet. I'm all done with you. If anything comes loose, let me know and I'll put it back in place.
No, myslím, že se to pokazilo ta hra přesně v tu pravou chvíli. Protože my to tady uložíme. Ten konec byl hodně kecací. Hodně. Je to KOTOR. Tam se prostě děsně žvaní, ale děsně moc. No, a my to dneska zapíchneme. Takže. Krásnou noc. Dobře se bavte. Dobrou noc těm, co jdou spát a zatím nazdar.